Okay, so what we got here is the rack from my Nissan Silvia S14 track car, and it's obviously quite an old rack, 1994 I imagine it was built. Seen a lot of work. I had a problem at Rockingham where this side, the driver's side of the rack, there has become some forward and back movement of the actual rack, this piece here within, so I suspect either the bushes are worn or there's quite a lot of actual pinion or gear wear which has happened. Either way, it's not in a good way. There was some quite a vague feeling around the center of the actual steering, so, and there was a knocking noise coming as well from the right side, which definitely isn't coming from any of the suspension. It's definitely coming from the actual rack going in and out from the actual casing. On tighter corners there was quite a definite knock, so we're just going to be taking that apart and see what's going on. You might have noticed these things on the end here. These are the Driftworks offset rack spacers, which are, although they're great for drifting, helping you get more lock, stopping the steering rack going over centre, they I think they might have been putting a bit of an awkward force angle on the actual rack itself, and pushing it back and forwards. We did nip up the preload a bit, as you can see here, 90 degrees at Rockingham, which helped tighten it up a little bit, but that actually made it, I think, actually boil the fluid towards the end of the day. So yeah, let's take this apart and see what we've got inside. Okay, so carrying on with the autopsy of the S14 steering rack. Taking it all apart. It's all there in various bits. I think I've got a good idea of what's been causing the problem, so let's just have a closer look at it. Okay, so just to go over the different parts of the rack casing. So we've got the actual casing here. This is the driver's side end. This is where the pinion comes in. This is the adjustment nut that just adjusts the preload of the actual pinion gear on the rack itself. Here is the actual rack itself. This is the driver's side here. You can see the actual gear section here. The tooth section actually all looks pretty much perfect actually. No wear at all on it that I can see. Now on the passenger side, it's quite well supported, the rack. It's got this little area here with this O-ring and then this nylon type bush as well. There was no lateral play at all on this passenger side. The driver's side, however, is where the play was. Now the placing, the lateral movement of the rack on the driver's side is determined by this little chap here, excuse me, which pushes against the rack down here on this section, and there's a spring here as well, and you can put a preload with this and then you lock it with this nut here. I think this guy here is actually, I think this is a little, this isn't quite right. You can see the actual marks where it's been touching. It's been touching quite unevenly. It's not been touching all the way around to its perimeter, which is allowing the rack to go up and down a bit like so. I think that's probably what's worn, because I can't see any wear on any of the actual metal components themselves. So I'll get another rack. We'll try and get some parts from somewhere, God knows where, to try and rebuild this and just keep it as a spare as well. So if we have any problems when we're out at the track, we can just swap them over. So with regards to going forwards with the S14, we're just getting ready, got a couple of weeks to get it ready for the circuit days track day at the Nürburgring. Done the Rockingham shakedown, which is good. The engine was running well. It's good number of miles under that engine now, so I'm pretty happy with how that build's gone. Just need to make sure the rest of the car is bob on, so there's going to be lots of hard work over the next couple of weeks just to make sure everything's perfect. We don't want to go all that way and have silly problems, do we?